Good evening and welcome to the North Country Trail Association 2020 Annual Awards Ceremony, virtual edition. There's nowhere I would rather be than in person with you as we bring each and every award winner on stage to get your token of appreciation for all of your amazing work as the crowd goes crazy behind you cheering for your accomplishment. But this year, we're a little bit further away. But because of that, we have an entire community that can share in the celebration. We hope that hundreds, if not thousands more people are able to listen to your accomplishments tonight and really know what it takes to be a North Country Trail Association award winner and to celebrate alongside you. So thank you for all that you have done. We have award winners tonight that have not only worked very hard the past 12 months, but for years on the trail, and in some cases, decades, with special recognition to our Lifetime Achievement Award winners. Thank you. You are unbelievable, and we celebrate tonight all of your accomplishments. So grab something to drink, a hot cocoa, or something cold, depending on your the temperature where you are. Sit by the fire, and even though they can't hear you, cheer for them tonight. Applaud in your living room when you hear about the amazing work these folks have done. Larry Pio is our awards committee chair, an NCTA board member, and a leader in the Chief Noonday chapter. Thank you so much, Larry, for leading this group in the tough decisions of choosing this year's award winners. I look forward to hearing more. Take it away.
Thank you for joining us this evening for the 2020 NCT Annual Awards presentation. We're happy to have you with us. I want to recognize our awards committee. I'm Larry Pio, the chair of the committee. Josh Burlow also serves on our board. Thomas Gilbert is past superintendent of the North Country Trail for the National Park Service. Is also our first Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. Irene Szabo is our longtime editor of the North Star. Marie Altino has hiked over half the trail, 2,600 miles or more, the last I saw. Deb Keplin is the former First Lady of the Board of Directors. Randall Roberts is representing the Buckeye Trail Association, and we'd like to thank Nicole Murphy, who does a lot of work for us behind the scenes and organizing all the nominations. Our committee includes folks from along the entire length of the trail, but we don't know everyone. Every chapter, affiliate, and partner has folks who would qualify for each of our awards, yet we do not get nominations from all of them. Please work to recognize your members. We do need thorough descriptions when we compare your nomination to other nominees. We are recruiting a couple of additional members for our committee if you are interested. Last fall, we asked everyone from each chapter, affiliate, and partner to select a recipient for the NCTA Honor Award. This is a great chance to recognize someone who may not have yet been recognized for their contributions. You select them to receive the award, and all we ask of you is that you select someone. And the Honor Award goes to someone who demonstrates loyalty, commitment, and hard work annually to the local organization's chosen activities. Last fall's recipients: Bobby Keplin, Tom Moberg, John McCallum, Jim Eisel, Don Hoppy, Heidi Hoppy, Terry Bernhard, Chris Nermy, John Schrock, Robert Lind, Tom Podlesny, Joe Kravitz, Calvin Kangas, Connie Shari, Ralph Horvath, Carol and Zane Bard, Dan Raish, Leslie Aker, Tim Calloway, Kevin Whitley, Patty Warner, the Shoreline Cycling Club, Eric Gustafson, Bobby Joe Gamache, Nikki Sobel, Bob Hoffbauer, Marion Schaffner, the Hager family, Ken Hart, Nelson Whitling, and Dave Newland. Now let's recognize our friends and members who've contributed above and beyond to the growth of the North Country Trail. The awards committee is pleased to recognize the following as nominated by those who work with them. Our first award is the Vanguard Award. It's a legislator or other public official whose leadership, actions, and advocacy has substantially benefited the North Country Trail over a chapter, affiliate, partners area, or larger, not just a short segment. Our recipient today is Dan Vogler, the County Commissioner in Lawrence County, Pennsylvania. He's attended chapter meetings and events as an invited guest. The chapter has received over $11,000 in large part to his work in obtaining grants from the county, and that money has been used for kiosk construction, bridges, shelters, trail mile markers, and trail maintenance. The North Country Trail Association is pleased to represent Dan Vogler for the 2020 Vanguard Award. Thank you, Dan. Our Boots on the Trail Award is to a volunteer who regularly leads hikes that are well advertised and promoted to the public, non-NCTA members, as a way of building NCTA membership and support for the trail over a 3 or more year period. Our first recipient is Mark Roberts from the Peter Wolf chapter. He's led chapter monthly hikes for over 4 years. He's a certified sawyer and trail adopter. He helps plan bridges and boardwalks. He's a chapter board member. And we got a lot of references from Mark, and I'll just read one of them. He's an instantly trustworthy, well-informed hike leader and knowledgeable historian. His decisions are anchored for the safety of his group and balanced with adventure choices for those who are more daring. The North Country Trail Association is pleased to present Mark Roberts with the 2020 Boots on the Trail Award. Our next recipient is Jeff Landon from the Chief Noonday chapter. He's a chapter member for 8 years. He's been leading the longer, faster hikes on a monthly basis. He takes charge of parking at the high participation hikes, often participates on work days and on chapter Adopt a Highway cleanups. He schedules and contacts chapter speakers and sets them up at meetings. The North Country Trail Association is pleased to present Jeff Landon with the 2020 Boots on the Trail Award. Our next award is the Leadership Award. It goes to a volunteer who has demonstrated exceptional leadership over a 3 or more year period, leading to significantly local achievements or highly successful events. Our first recipient is Shari Sanderson of the Harbor Springs chapter. She's chapter president, former chapter secretary, and she organizes hikes every month with increased participation. And since she's begun this, she's gone from 3 to 6 participants to now over 25 to 30. She's done this by an increased level of public relations, and that's resulted in more memberships, more maintainers. She's recruited trail adopters, organizes work days, also invites neighboring chapters to participate. She's a certified sawyer. She helped plan an execution of the 2019 NCTA celebration. The North Country Trail Association is pleased to present Shari Sanderson with the 2020 Leadership Award. Our next recipient is Beth Keloneva from the West Michigan chapter. She's chapter president since 2016, and during that time they've established many new miles of trail within the chapter. She's worked to make White Cloud a trail town and serves on the White Cloud Trail Town Celebration Committee for the last 3 years, and during that time they've increased the level of that celebration to 3 days. Earlier she was a communications chairman and a membership chair and began e-newsletter and increased Facebook activities. She served on the schoolhouse committee, which looked at alternatives for the NCTA schoolhouse. The North Country Trail Association is pleased to present Beth Keloneva with the 2020 Leadership Award. Our next recipient is Brian Hager from the Wampum chapter. As chapter vice president, last year he hosted a podcast prepared by talking to charter members and researching the NCTA and chapter history. He works with local businesses to obtain grants for chapter projects, including a handicapped accessible trail. He initiated a 5K race in the trail town of Darlington, got sponsors, publicized it, coordinated with town officials and law enforcement, and set up a registration. He dresses as Bigfoot for the St. Patrick's Day Sasquatch search hike, and he hides in the woods and shows up every once in a while to show himself to hikers, which is a big hit with the children. He's a certified sawyer, a great hiking stick carver, and a trail maintainer. The North Country Trail Association is pleased to present Brian Hager with the 2020 Leadership Award. Our next award is the Outreach Award, which goes to a volunteer whose efforts to build coalitions, partnerships, or other forms of local support have contributed significantly to the ongoing success of the North Country Trail. Our first recipient is Mark Heise of the Buckeye Trail Association. He has served as the Buckeye Trail Fest 2017 chair and on the 2018 and 2019 committees. He owns Yellow Springer Tees, which you can find on the internet. He sells BTA merchandise at no charge to BTA, promotes the BTA and North Country Trail Association. He serves as a liaison with the local land managers and other retail stores, regional scouting organizations, and municipalities. He serves as the BTA graphics volunteer and on other committees relating to marketing, branding, and special events. Is a regional representative of the trails, encouraging new membership and volunteers. The North Country Trail Association is pleased to present Mark Heise with the 2020 Outreach Award. Our next recipient is Marianne Duvendack of the Northwest Ohio Rails to Trails Association. Over 25 years ago, she helped found NORTA, which develops, maintains, and protects two branches of the Wabash Cannonball Trail, which the North Country Trail follows for 40 miles. She regularly shuttles hikers and offers overnight opportunities. She's active on social media, providing information and offers of support. She knows a lot of people, and she's helped make incredible progress in the Oak Openings area and parts in other areas between Michigan and the Buckeye Trail that are not part of NORTA. She's worked with contacts to reopen 1.5 miles in Maumee State Forest that hadn't been maintained for 15 years. They're now working on a section going through White House, which again, her contacts have helped immensely. The North Country Trail Association is pleased to present Marianne Duvendack with the 2020 Outreach Award. Our next recipient is Carol Wright of the Wampum chapter. She's chapter secretary and events chair. Last year, she set up 40 events, contacting organizations to ask about joining parades and setting up tents. She works at these events, handing out maps and info while coordinating volunteers. She works with landowners along the trail, presenting them with handmade hiking sticks and framed certificates. She coordinated with Youngstown State and Kent University for outreach programs this year, which have been postponed due to the current epidemic. The North Country Trail Association is pleased to present Carol Wright with the 2020 Outreach Award. Our next category is the Outstanding Private Landowner. A private landowner whose leadership, accommodation, and active collaboration have substantially benefited the North Country Trail. Our recipient is the Circle Pine Center Director Sasha Ospina. The center teaches peace and social justice in work, education, and recreation, hosting camps, retreats, and private gatherings. They host over a half-mile of trail that eliminated a roadwalk section and backs up into the Berry State game area. They allow roadside parking and allowed us to put up a kiosk. They have water available and camping available for hikers. They encourage visitors to hike the North Country Trail. The North Country Trail is pleased to present the Circle Pines Center with the 2020 Outstanding Private Landowner Award. And now I'm going to pass the torch over to Irene Sabo, and she will continue from here. Thank you.
Next, we'll do the Sweep Awards. This is for a volunteer for tireless work and achievements behind the scenes on behalf of the trail or the NCTA over at least a 3-year period. First, we have Mary Berube and John Schrock. The 60 miles of trail tended by the Brule-St Quad chapter of Wisconsin offered blazing that was suffering from old age. So Mary and John volunteered to reblaze the whole thing and keep it all on a recommended 5-year rotation. In addition, they are active chapter members whose other contributions are appreciated. Next, we have Rick and Cher Eiler for Sweep. Wampum's Eilers have been active members for almost 20 years. Not only does Rick maintain all of the chapter's machinery, they tend trail near the town where they live, and Cher especially participates in the many chapter events every year. Next is Trail Builder of the Year, a volunteer whose work in trail planning, landowner negotiations, layout and design, and/or construction have resulted in development of outstanding new trail or facilities over a 3-year period at least. First, we have Richard Ostheimer. He has been involved in all of Wampum's miles of new trail construction for years now, offering his experience in both designing and creating new off-road trails. His expertise is especially valued for the new 80 miles in Ohio that the chapter has adopted. Shelters, bridges, and actual trail have been his jobs, and Rick is noted for sharing what he knows with youth groups especially. Next, for Trail Builder, Byron Guy. Byron is responsible for a 51-mile section of the Buckeye Trail Association /NCT in the Hocking Hills and works over 500 hours of trail maintenance annually. He also participates in group projects to build facilities and more new trail, and somehow finds the time and energy to organize several hiking events. Trail Maintainer of the Year, a volunteer who has demonstrated exceptional dedication or achievements over a 3 or more year period in maintaining or restoring pre-existing trail segments. First, we have Bill Curtis. He was a trail adopter for years, then gave up his section to become the adoption coordinator for the Hiawatha Shore to Shore chapter's whole trail, consisting of 18 sections. He is an aggressive coordinator, communicating with all of his maintainers frequently, visiting their sections, sharing material kits with them. He bought a small RV so he could join the chapter's roving crew on more projects, naming it the Lime Lounge after his jar of ticks inside. Cal Kangas. Cal died last year while doing trail work with the Niimeikiyaki chapter, and all agreed that was pretty appropriate, since he loved being out in the woods doing just that, making and keeping the trail. Doug Lawrence and Kathy Rea, also trail maintainers. The Wampum chapter is the beneficiary of this couple's dedication to their section of trail, a highly trafficked portion where any report of a tree down or some other typical mess brings them out within a day typically. No surprise, they also support many other chapter activities too and join in with group trail projects. Frank Lynn, trail maintainer. Frank has been a maintainer for the Western Michigan chapter for his own section since 2009, plus is one of the chapter's chainsawyers, so responds quickly to such emergencies. They figure he has walked many miles carrying his chainsaw, plus he joins in on chapter work projects also. He is one of their regular mowers too, for the twice annual tours of their grassy portions. Friend of the Trail Award. An employee of a unit of government or an organization whose leadership, accommodation, and active collaboration have substantially benefited the North Country Trail. First, we have Denny Caneff. Our trail is stronger and better because of the vision and leadership of Denny Caneff. For the past 3 years, he has worked tirelessly as executive director for the Superior Hiking Trail Association. He has forged relationships, grown the association, and remains completely unafraid of spending time in the mud and deep snow. Because of his leadership, 300 miles of the North Country Trail are on a sustainable trajectory. Denny leaves SHTA on August 1st, but his profound legacy will continue. What he created was the Trail Renewal Program, a plan for responsible, sustainable management of the trail as a resource, with concern for the environmental impacts that increased use and lagging maintenance have caused. It focuses on developing standards for new construction and maintenance that volunteers, contractors, and staff alike must adhere to. It engages volunteers and gives them opportunities for training and involvement with an emphasis on safety, and perhaps most importantly, it creates a process to evaluate the trail, identify, and then prioritize projects. Jack Norland is another friend of the trail. He has been instrumental in jump-starting efforts to develop new segments of the NCT east of the Cheyenne National Grasslands in North Dakota. As manager of the North Dakota State University Foundation's Ecre Grassland Preserve, Jack has assisted in the development of the NCT and other loop trails that traverse the property. He has assisted Tom Moberg's work with adjacent landowners to secure permission for the NCT. Jack has also helped the NCTA gain a foothold on the NDSU campus by promoting the NCT to students. Richard Lutz, Buckeye Trail Association, another friend of the trail. Although Richard does work part-time for the BTA, it's generally agreed by all that he works far more than he is paid for. Many achievements in recent years would not have happened without him, like obtaining hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of grants to protect miles of trail route, organizing work parties to create new trail and add campsites, and obtaining state lands for improved trail routes. He also works on most of BTA's big annual events and has been in the thick of mapping improvements. Communicator of the Year. A volunteer for exemplary work in promoting the trail of the NCTA through a communications medium, newsletter, website, brochure, etc., or personal contacts, again, over a 3-year period or more. Mary Brinks is our first communicator. The attendance at hikes and Chief Noonday chapter meetings has nearly doubled since Mary volunteered to handle our communications with the world. She takes advantage of nearly 30 free press opportunities in the area and keeps our Facebook page updated with upcoming events and programs expected at meetings, a major increase in our outreach. Tina Harkins is the next communicator. Wampum also benefits from Tina's steady stream of information and event listings on 3 social media outlets and in local newspapers. She also keeps their 2 Pennsylvania counties' visitor bureaus up to date and well supplied with materials. Rising Star Award is for an NCTA member between the ages of 8 and 25 who has made significant contributions to the trail and seems likely to continue, and whose dedication to the trail and the NCTA sets an example to other youths and shows exceptional promise. Austin Horning completed an Eagle Scout project in 2018-19 to develop a new 4-mile segment of the North Country Trail within Audubon National Wildlife Refuge in North Dakota. This 4-mile segment is the beginning of a new 15-mile NCT segment within the refuge. In 2020, the NCTA hopes to finish the remaining 11 miles or more and continue the development of a volunteer group that started with Austin's project. It's a rare treat to be able to put a hiking trail in a wildlife refuge, yet Austin managed to bring this one to fruition within months of his first phone call to the refuge. Another rising star is Lene Branham. She was a Northern Michigan University student majoring in environmental studies and sustainability. At the beginning of the fall semester of 2018, she approached our chapter, the North Country Trail Hikers, regarding her interest in trying to start a club called NMU Conservation Crew. The basis of the club would be to perform conservation tasks, erosion maintenance, trail grooming or building, picking up trash, etc., to preserve our beloved local lands, but also teach students. Her efforts succeeded, and NMU students have joined our chapter on several projects. Now that Lene has graduated, we remain hopeful that the club will remain active. And a third rising star, Marissa Hofferth, has been active with North Dakota's Cheyenne River chapter since she was 5 years old. Now 11, she has worked on many chapter projects like boardwalks and signage, with more than 100 hours contributed. She also won honors for her good display about hiking at a regional competition. Watch this rising star in the future. And now we hand it over to Tom Gilbert.
Award category is Blue Blaze Benefactor. This award recognizes an individual or household demonstrating vision and generosity through significant monetary or in-kind contributions to the trail or the NCTA. Our first recipient is Cheryl and Mark Krendler. As an NCTA board member, Cheryl led the association's executive director search and helped establish an organizational governance structure. Presently, she has an active role in the strategic planning for the association's future and is a devoted member of the Fund Development Committee. Cheryl's development involvement is to lead by example, including providing important matching gifts for campaigns and inspiring her fellow board members to give. Congratulations, Cheryl. Our next recipients are Cecil and Joanne Dobbins. Cecil died this past January, but he and his wife Joanne have been members and significant donors since 1981. His bequest to us was placed in a fund dear to him, the Trail Protection Fund, so his lifelong interest in hiking trails will continue to benefit all of us for many years. Thank you, Cecil and Joanne. Our next award category is the Trailblazer Award, and this award recognizes a business or foundation for farsighted vision and support demonstrated by significant contributions to the trail or the NCTA. Our first recipient is John and Mindy Frederickson of the Gunflint Lodge. The Gunflint Lodge is the quintessential historic Northwoods resort facility on Gunflint Lake that goes back to 1927. They offer the public a variety of lodging opportunities, a fabulous restaurant, and a full-service Boundary Waters outfitter operation in far northern Minnesota. Owners John and Mindy Frederickson's hospitality allows our volunteer work crews to shower after work sessions, stay overnight for free before and after trips into the interior. Thank you and congratulations, John and Mindy. Our next recipient is Mandy Huskey of the Gunflint Lodge. The second of a two-part nomination, Mindy manages the Gunflint Outfitters and assists the Gunflint owners supporting clearing crews for the Kekakabik and Border Route Trail sections, and has provided canoes and other equipment when the U.S. Forest Service doesn't have enough to go around. She has even loaned her personal canoe for one trip last year. Thank you and congratulations, Mandy. Our next recipient is Joe DeMuzio. The Wampum chapter honors Joe for his contributions as an excavating contractor because he has brought his machinery and time to bear on worthy projects like the chapter's accessible trail for the disabled and bank restoration work near their Watts Mill site. Thank you and congratulations, Joe. And our final recipient of the Trailblazer Award is the REI Foundation. While REI stores have contributed to our local projects for many years, this year, many of them were temporarily closed. So the National Foundation stepped in to contribute $25,000 to the NCTA, not tied to any specific projects, to be spent as we needed. We remain grateful for their ongoing support. And Christine Reagan, the VP of the REI Foundation, shared this thought. REI Co-op and more recently REI Foundation have been proud to partner with the North Country Trail Association since 2006. As one of our country's beloved national scenic trails that connects 8 states and thousands of REI members, it is important for us to support your crucial efforts to develop, maintain, protect, and promote the trail to ensure it is available for generations to come. Accessing outdoor spaces is critical to human and community health. Thank you, North Country National Scenic Trail, for your work to connect people to the outdoors. Thank you, REI Foundation. Our next award category is the Trail Protector Award. And this award recognizes a volunteer working to protect the trail by gaining permission to build trail and additionally gaining easements to protect our trail over a 3-year period or more. Our first recipient is Jim Bronson. As farm manager of the Michigan State University Kellogg Biological Station, Jim helped the trail get onto that property, which relieved us of a lot of road walking. Now that he is retired, he has become even more active with the Chief Noonday chapter, especially encouraging private landowners to welcome the trail onto their properties and off the roads. He also participates in the layout of new trail routes. Congratulations, Jim. Our next recipient is Dave Newman. As VP of Trail Preservation for the Finger Lakes Trail, Dave has become savvy at creating deals that protect our primary fund for buying or protecting the trail route. While sometimes we spend money from it to buy a critical vulnerable property, in most cases we then sell it to an adjacent state forest. The critical thing in such deals is that we can act with relative speed, whereas the state's processes are rusty and ponderous. So we might not be earning interest on that money for a few years, but it mostly comes back to our fund. He also works a lot with the Finger Lakes Land Trust on mutually advantageous deals. Thank you and congratulations to Dave. Our next award category is the Distinguished Service Award. And the Distinguished Service Award recognizes an individual in recognition of exceptional volunteer service in furthering the goals of the NCTA and outstanding contributions toward the dream of the North Country Trail. Individuals should have made a contribution and commitment of and accomplishments over 8 or more years. Our first recipient is Joe Hardesky. While Joe has been long been a member of the Wampum chapter, appreciated for his constant trail work on both maintenance and creating new off-road trails, he has also participated on projects for all 4 Pennsylvania NCTA chapters. In fact, his good work is so well known that some local parks rely on him to create solutions and gather volunteers to fix places that are beyond the park's abilities, especially in the challenging gorge at McConnell's Mill State Park. Whenever he is offered the help from an outside group, for instance, the Student Conservation Association crew, he always has ready in his mind a good project to make use of the extra hands. He is always working beside the other volunteers too, creating a productive situation and teaching others. Thank you, Joe, for your years of dedicated service. Our next recipient is Mark Van Hornweeder. While Mark's home territory on the NCT is the Brule-St. chapter, he has also worked extensively for the Superior Hiking Trail, principally designing the section between 2 harbors and Duluth, and he still tends a section of trail in Minnesota. Mark has participated in many Rovers Crew projects back in Wisconsin, where he is especially valued for his good sense at trail location. Now he is president of the Brule-St. Croix chapter and has a seat on the National NCTA board, where he is noted for his attention to detail and good suggestions. Congratulations and thank you, Mark, for all of your service. Our next recipient is Phil Anderson. Phil has served as the Brule-St. Croix Trail Maintenance Coordinator for 10 years, while tending his own section of trail and participating regularly on the Wisconsin Roving Trail Crew to build major projects all across the state. So it was his job to convey quality standards to all 24 of his trail caretakers, train new people, and keep them equipped with tools and mowers from 2 tool trailers. His capabilities have been especially helpful when any crew needed to build structures like either truss or beam bridges, and he invented a good plan for erecting trailhead kiosks. He has been personally attentive to the chapter's trail signage. Thank you, Phil, for your years of service, and congratulations. Our final award category is the Thomas Gilbert Lifetime Achievement Award, and this recognizes an individual in recognition of 15 years or more of true dedication, exceptional service, and outstanding contributions towards the dream of the North Country Trail or the success and growth of the NCTA, not just local service. Service may be performed in a voluntary or paid capacity. Our first recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award is Lorena Jinkerson. Lorena Jinkerson is one of the most dedicated volunteers, leaders, and donors NCTA has ever seen. Consider a too short list of her contributions. She has served on the NCTA board, has chaired 2 committees that require a lot of work, and has done so with great attention to organization and gentle leadership. Those committees being the NCTA Awards Committee and the North Star Editorial Advisory Committee. And she has even written a children's book about the trail. She then mailed the book, entitled Nettie Does the NCTA, to every local library near the trail in each state at her own expense. Clearly, promoting the trail is one of her higher priorities. She goes out of her way to house, host, and feed long-distance hikers or anyone visiting Marquette, including staff and chapter members and leaders from other states, and is the primary organizer for her chapter, the North Country Trail Hikers. Lorena is pretty much beloved to many, many members. This year, Lorena became the first donor to reach a major milestone by giving more than $100,000 to the association over her years of membership. This is a truly remarkable level of support. Congratulations and thank you, Lorena, for all of the service you have provided.
Thank you so much. Coming from Tom Gilbert, it is especially an honor. As many of you know, I love the NCT, the NCTA, and the North Country Trail Hikers chapter. When I retired, I had no idea what I was going to do, but I met Jan Lindstrom, and she introduced me to the NCTA. Thank you, Jan. I have met many friends and acquaintances through the years across all the 8 states and more, members, volunteers, hikers, and staff. Those are the people that make this all worthwhile, and to be able to help the NCTA build, maintain, promote, and protect the North Country Trail for everyone makes it all worthwhile. Thanks much.
Our next recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award is Ed Solstad. Ed and many of the other volunteers who work on the Border Route Trail live in the Twin Cities, which is a mere 250-mile one-way trip to their section of trail. Also, some portions of the trail can be reached only by means of canoe trips. So the several disasters that continually visit the area force too few people to clean up after the windstorms and fires, to keep clear a trail that is constantly bursting with new regrowth, yet doesn't get enough hiking to keep a path visible. Ed has been actively working on this challenging trail since 1971. He also promotes the trail by hosting displays at several outdoor programs annually, and was active for years promoting the Arrowhead reroute legislation, which enables the Border Route Trail to become an official section of the NCT. He is also active working with the land managers of the Superior National Forest. Thank you for your service, Ed, and congratulations. Our final recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award is Tom Moberg. Tom has long exercised firm and efficient leadership, especially visible when he was president of the NCTA Board of Directors for 3 years and sat on that board for a total of 9 years. Now in his retirement, he is doing a ton of valuable service for the Dakota Prairie chapter, where his efforts as trail development coordinator involve work with private landowners, route planning, and actual new trail building off-road. Part of his work is to recruit and organize volunteers, especially for local projects, building new trail, and to coordinate the chapter's efforts with agency partners both in-state and nationally. As a consummate grown-up, Tom is perfect for such roles. He and his wife, Mary, have also been frequent major donors to the association. Tom is surprised by and truly grateful for this honor. Here, he is doing what he loves, hiking and working on the North Country Trail. We want to congratulate all of the award recipients this evening, and this concludes our 2020 awards program. Thank you.